Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Betholkus, and this is Saturday Morning Blast Off. How's everyone doing this morning? Sorry it took me a little while there. I had to actually blow my nose, which is what happens when you're coming over viral pneumonia, which is what I had. So, and yes, I have my tea, or as you might say, tea, in quotation marks. Much better. We are all our unique little whatever. I don't know. Stanley Tweedle, what's going on? Hey, everybody in the chat. What's happening? Yes, and Highlander was awesome, Filthy. It doesn't need to be remade. So, yes, I'm breaking out different cups, I guess you could say. So, I had belonged to the Funko, what was it, the Marvel Corps, and then also the DC Collectors Club is what it was called. And I think at one point, he's even very in the beginning, the Star Wars one that they had as well, the Bounty Hunters box. And so these are some of the things that were in the boxes that they would send. This, of course, is Star-Lord from the Guardians of the Galaxy box that they had sent. And also I have a scarf too, which, really works in San Diego weather. Because when you're in 74-degree weather, it's pretty much, yeah. Don't even say remade in the same sentence as Highlander. Is that what you said, Pen Farm Girl? I don't think they're ever going to remake Highlander, Pen Farm Girl, because remaking Highlander would be a wrong thing to do, because remakes of Highlander are just not in the Viking bitch says, "Oh hush, I'm up to my ass in snow." Yeah, that's because you're in Minnesota. Isn't that like snow 14 months out of the year? I'm pretty sure it is, isn't it? Yes, Filthy, I know about the rumors. I have that in my list of things, my extensive list of things. And actually, I had to do a little bit of editing here while I'm on the fly. There we go. So let's start off with that. What the hell? I'll wait for some more people to come in the room, and I can start off with that one first. That's always good. There is a rumor, and take this with a grain of salt, that Robert Pattinson, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it, the guy who was in Twilight, the sparkly vampire, is supposedly being eyed by Warner Brothers to be the next Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, in Matt Reeves' version of the Batman, which is coming out in 2021 now. Because Batfleck is, of course, too old, way too old. He was old, actually, when they first started doing this to play Batman. And also, they want to skew younger, but they still want a familiar face to play Batman. And I don't know. It's a rumor right now. There's a lot of other names that are being thrown about, like Jake Gyllenhaal. And actually, let me take a look while I'm here, since I had put down the link to the article in my notes here as well. So who else were they talking about? They're talking about Jake Gyllenhaal, Ryan Gosling, Jack O'Connell, and John Hamm. John Hamm is way too freaking old to play him. He would have been great like 10 years ago, but not now. Nick Jonas has even expressed interest, which, God, no. Okay, no more wrestlers and no more, pops, superstars or whatever, trying to make the transition over from failed career to another failed career in movies. I really don't want to see that anymore. It's just, fuck that. God, I mean, that just pisses me off to no end. It's like, yeah, okay, great. You were a wrestler at one point, and now you want to be a movie star. That's great. I'm looking at you, John Cena. Definitely John Cena. Because, dude, you suck as an actor. I mean, just horribly, horribly suck as an actor. And the dude who played Sabretooth in the first and second X-Men movie, the Bryan Singer movies, the one who, was too old for Bryan Singer. That's why, he had no speaking role as Sabretooth. I can't remember what his name was, because of course he's forgettable, as allegedly he was too old for Bryan Singer. Excuse me, allegedly, because those, no one's corroborated any of that stuff, with pictures or video or eyewitness testimony or anything like that. No Justin Bieber as Batman. No, Slurmy. I don't want to see Justin Bieber as Batman. I'd like to see Justin Bieber shot out of a cannon, though, back into Canada, because that's where he belongs. Yeah, we don't need him here. Yeah, Liv Schreiber was awesome as Sabretooth, man. He was actually scary as Sabretooth. He was actually good. He was really good, and I thought he was pretty damn funny. Funny and scary. And that's what you need out of Sabretooth, is this kind of weird, it's an intangible thing, and Liv Schreiber hit it. You could tell he actually read the comics. He went through and did some research. Yeah. No, Filthy. Justin Bieber is yours entirely up in Canada. So we'll be shooting him over your wall. You guys have a wall up there too, don't you? Something like that. So we'll just shoot him over the wall with a cannon. You don't need to open up the gates or anything. We'll shoot him up high in a really high arc, like about 2,000 feet. Stanley Tweedle says, does anyone still care about DC movie casting? The recent DC movies have left me disinterested in the whole thing. Funny you should mention that, because Aquaman, which made a shit ton of money, supposedly, he doesn't merit a sequel. They still haven't talked about doing a sequel for that Aquaman movie, even though it generated almost $1 billion now at this point. Something like that worldwide. But what they have greenlit, and this is the funny thing, is a spin-off movie called The Trench. I shit you not. They actually greenlit The Trench, about the trench dwellers, which had 5 minutes of screen time, something like that. Which, granted, it was a great visual scene, but to base they want to do a DC horror movie on that is really what they want to do. And I'm like, really? So you guys still aren't talking about an Aquaman sequel at all. But The Trench is where you want to go. And you want to go about the trench dwellers. Yeah, exactly, Viking Mitch. Exactly. It's a laughable moment. No, Batman versus Superman is not a horror movie, Morks. It's actually a psychological torment movie is what it is. It's psychologically tormenting to watch. Yeah. Movie for nobody. The trench scene was cool, but that was it. I mean, it literally was a visual reference. That was it. I can't see a 90-minute movie based on the trench. I mean, which of course they're probably going to do 20 minutes. Oh yeah, there's definitely butt chugging going on in the executive washroom. And probably not the executive washroom, probably the executive boardroom at Warner Brothers at this point. Stanley Tweedle says maybe it's about a flasher in a trench coat. No, it's not. Although that would be kind of funny. The Flash being a flasher at super speed in a trench coat. That'd be a kind of a good. I don't know how much Well, it's Warner Brothers, so they would probably be able to get like a season or two out of that. Oh crap! I just gave them an idea, didn't I, for the CW? That's what's going to be happening next season. Is the Flash is going to be a flasher in a trench coat at high super speed. I know. I'm sorry. Sorry, Penn Farm Girl. I didn't mean to give them bad ideas. Well, let's go up to something good. How about that? So Disney, now I'll take this again with a grain of salt. The CEO of Disney, Bob Iger, says they have no plans to change any of the Deadpool movies from being R-rated. They want to keep making R-rated Deadpool movies, is what they said. On a call to investors now. So Bob Iger said that Disney will continue to make R-rated Deadpool movies and other adult-oriented Marvel adventures after it absorbs much of Fox. We will continue in that business, promised Iger, adding, there's certainly popularity in those types of films. Iger hinted that the films won't be released under the traditional Marvel or Disney banner. The company will make an effort to ensure that it is carefully branding R-rated films so that it's not in any way confusing to the consumer. Seriously? I mean, granted, yes, I know, there is some confusion about Batman on TV versus Batman in the movies, or Flash on TV versus Flash in the movies, or come on, man, really? Yeah, honestly, Filthy, that's not a deal breaker. It's not like she's really there anyway. So, and yeah, exactly. Why change? Yeah, the Disney experiment worked for China in PG-13. See, I don't know what that Once Upon a Deadpool. They never released the numbers on how much that movie made. Did it actually flop? Good. I'm glad people saw it for the test marketing that it was. It was a fucking paid test mark. Basically, you had to pay to be test marketed on, is what that was. Hey, Battle Marcus. I'm just getting started. I'm surprised they didn't recut Logan and make it a PG-13 movie and re-release that as a test market as well. Not that they really could. I mean, it's kind of hard to do. Yeah, Disney does have to be careful about the huge debt they're buying from Fox. And yeah, I don't know. You watched it, Filthy? You saw the PG-13 Deadpool? For the Fred Savage cutscenes? Yeah. I take it you didn't. Did you rent it or something? Or I don't even know if it's available for rent or digital or what's going on. I'm actually looking forward to next week because on the 15th is Umbrella Academy on Netflix, and I'm like really fucking jazzed about that. Umbrella Academy is just awesome. It's I can't describe it. I mean, you have to actually watch it or read the comic, one of the two, if you haven't read the comic already. It's a great comic. Speaking of comics, so I didn't get a chance to do Deadly Class this week because, of course, the viral pneumonia thing and all the coughing and stuff like that. But they had a really good little callback to Willie had been raiding Marcus's comic book stash to read some stuff, and he actually pulled out Grimjack, which, for those of you who don't know Grimjack, it was a late 70s into the 80s, even into the 90s comic about this guy who was pretty much almost unkillable in a way, and he worked in the Nexus. So it's all the crossroads of the world in this one place. So it's kind of like an otherworldly type of thing. And he was just a badass. I mean, complete and total badass. Every time you think he's dead, no, he comes out of it. And it was a Dark Horse comic, so it was really kind of cool. Viking says, shit, I forgot to watch Deadly Class this week. Damn it, Dennis, you're my alarm clock. Sorry about that. Yeah, I know. It was actually a really good episode this week. I was chomping at the bit. I wanted to do it, but I just kept coughing up. Yes, I'm going to try and make up Project Blue Book as well. I'm probably, after this, I'm probably going to do some just some videos without any commentary, without any chat, unfortunately, and just upload them. They're going to be small, like probably 10-minute videos on that. Because, I still need to watch Gotham. I didn't get a chance to watch Gotham. But Passage, I'm probably going to pass on because we're coming up on the new one. And quite honestly, it was okay. It's just, it's not really going anywhere at the moment. It needs to like ramp up the fucking vampires. Really, it does, because I'm getting tired of it. There's only so much that um, yeah, it's not even passable, honestly. Stanley Tweedle, I got your pun there, but yeah, it's really not. It's just average, and again, it's network TV. You know what? I mean, like The Gifted. I keep forgetting about The Gifted's even on still. You know. Uh, yeah, exactly. Pen Farm Girl. The passage is so slow. They haven't even shown the stuff from the promos. Yeah, the stuff that they were showing like months before this damn thing appeared. They were showing all these vampires attacking and people escaping from bonds and all this kind of stuff. And yet, nope, we're sitting inside a hospital. Oh, you're gonna take some more blood? Okay, all right. Oh wait, we have a dream sequence. Oh no. Okay. No, I do not like my vampires sparkly. I did like Vampire Lestat, well, I should say Interview with the Vampire. That, yeah, that kind of vampire. And I do like my vampires brutal. Like John Carpenter's Vampires was actually pretty good. Yeah, I know you're teasing me, but yeah. And what are we at here? So, excuse me. Need to get rid of a little mucus there. There we go. So another big drop this week was Denai Guerrera, who plays Michonne on Walking Dead, is going to be leaving the show after season 10. She's actually going to pull on Andrew Lincoln. And she is going to be sporadic through season 10, like an episode here, an episode there. But after that, she's going to be gone. She's going to come back for a couple of the Rick Grimes standalone movies that they're going to do. But she's not going to come back as Michonne for the series. Don't make me say the L word, Dennis. What do you mean the L word? Lesbian? Lisping? Lynx? Recurring? Oh, okay. I don't know what you're talking about there, Move Fanobi. Sorry. Stanley Tweedle says, is that still going on? I stopped in season 3. Yeah, it's still going on. They're introducing the Whisperers right now, and quite frankly, I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with the Whisperers, because that is some really fucked up shit. And how they're going to get around, I mean, you have rape as part of that culture, is what it is, and that I'm not going to dance around it. The Whisperers have a rape culture within their group, and yeah, it's I don't know how they're going to get around that. It's just going to be a really weird. It's going to be a really weird thing. I don't know, if they're going to do it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm waiting for Kirkman to actually end this thing, end the comic, because supposedly he says he does have an ending in mind, but who knows if he actually does or not. He really needs to actually just end it. Yeah, you know what? I couldn't believe. Yeah, I'm just gonna spoil it. I don't care. No one's really watching it. In this group, but I can't believe that Jesus bit the bucket on that one. I didn't expect seeing that one coming. Although, considering that he was in like commercials and other TV shows and stuff like that, I was like, okay, usually once you have moved on to another TV show, that usually means that your other TV show is being canceled. Oh, and speaking of canceled, so with all the sickness that I've had, I was actually watching, catching up on Z Nation, because that was the last season, was season 5, which it's a great show. It's a fun show, and does Walking Dead so much better than Walking Dead does. And this is coming as someone who liked Walking Dead. Okay, it was a lot better. Z Nation's a lot better than Walking Dead. The guy who plays Murphy would make a great Joker. and I'm talking like Cesar Romero Joker. There's one scene in this last season, season 5, where he's running this place called Limbo, and he's introducing everyone to Limbo, and he's up on the stage, and he's welcome to Limbo, and he actually reaches into his pockets and throws confetti out the way that Cesar Romero used to as the Joker in the old Batman. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, he's the Joker. He's skinny. He's got that face, the angular face going on and everything. He's used to wearing makeup. I want to see him. If we're doing a new Batman, do a fucking new Joker. Get rid of Jared Leto. Jared Leto sucks at Hugalo Joker thing. Actually, have this guy come in and play the real Joker, killing off the fake Hugalo Joker. Do it that way. Yeah. iZombie returns next month, I believe. It's March, if I remember correctly. I talked about it, I think, in the previous podcast. May. Okay, there we go. May. Thanks, Stanley Tweedle. But yeah, that's exactly what needs to be. They need to bring him in. He is like a manic, person. And he's also a writer too. I didn't know this. He's written some really bad movies. I'll say this much. But yeah, he's a good actor. Like, he's smarmy, but he's also kind of likable. And it's the whole Cesar Romero. He's really got that down pat. And I would love to see that. Yeah. He would be awesome as the Joker. But they're not going to use him because, TV. They get confused. Yeah, Battle Marcus 8. Z Nation does make the zombie genre entertaining. I mean, come on, they had Z-Weed, marijuana grown out of zombies, and which gave you a little extra kick. Rolling balls of zombie hordes, so they're stuck together in a gigantic ball, and they just kind of roll. Yeah, what else was there? There was all kinds of weird shit, man. I mean, just some really the blends as well, because Murphy he has the cure kind of in him. He's like this. Yes, it's called Z-Weed. Yes, that's what it's called. Feisty fan is Z-Weed. The zombie twister. Yeah, Penn Farm Girl. Oh man. Yeah, Filthy. I've got to check out Supernatural 300. I just haven't gotten to it as of yet. And I liked what they did with season 5. They brought back a lot of the old people that had left the show, who hadn't died. Their characters hadn't died. They just kind of left the show and brought them back for the last season. And it was kind of a nice send-off. They knew they were ending, and they played it off that way. I thought it was pretty good. Plus, it has Mario Van Peebles. I mean, that dude keeps popping up everywhere. Every time I think his career is over with, boom, he pops back up again. So, I mean, shit, what the hell? But what else do we have here? Oh, yeah, speaking of last seasons, and I say this sadly, season 3 of Legion is going to be its last over at FX. At least they know that it's going to be its final season. So they're going to send it off right, instead of just going, oh yeah, by the way, that last season you just did, well, that was your last season. Sorry, we're done. Yeah, I know. I'm very disappointed that we all knew it was going to end. I mean, Noah Hawley is being pulled in so many different directions. He is a fucking talented person. And like I said, I finally realized where Legion is coming from. It's coming from The Prisoner, the old TV series The Prisoner. He even has David dressed up in the Prisoner's jacket at one point. And that is where Noah Hawley is pulling a lot of inspiration from. And I didn't realize that until I started watching the old Prisoner again on Amazon as well. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, this is where he's getting, all this stuff from. Viking Bitch says, I was expecting Legion to end with season 3, so I have had time to make peace with it. I think the next season's going to be amazing. Yeah, I hope so. Especially since Okay, they're going to bring in Professor X, but it's not who you think it is. It's not going to be Sir Patrick Stewart. It's Harry Lloyd. Harry Lloyd, who right now is playing Peter Quayle on the awesome show Counterpart, which if you're not watching Counterpart, what the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah, fucking Quayle is going to be his father. Now, having him skewed so young and cast as a younger Professor Xavier, someone actually brought out an interesting theory online saying that David could kill him inadvertently in the past. There's some time travel involved, and start the Age of Apocalypse. And that's how they end the season 3, is by starting off the Age of Apocalypse. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, yeah, you could do that. And I'm like, well, who would they get as young Magneto at that point too? You know, you would have to cast some young Magneto who knows Professor Xavier and who'd be carrying on in his stead now that, you know, Xavier would be killed early on in life. But very interesting piece. Yeah, I'm so jazzed to see season 3 when it comes out. Season 3, yeah, you haven't even thought about young Magneto, did you, Pen Farm Girl? Yes, and it does hurt your brain, Feisty fan. It's one of those things out there that, you know, if they do go this route, it would be fucking brilliant. It would be genius, and then you can have Noah Hawley do an X-Men movie proper, and not have to deal with Bryan Singer's shit at all, because he created his own universe and he created the Age of Apocalypse. And fuck everything that Bryan Singer did. Yes. And that's the way they should be thinking. I know, Pen Farm Girl. It's pie in the sky thoughts, but it's one of those things that I you know, I started going down the rabbit hole once I saw that theory about, okay, so why would you have a young Charles Xavier unless he's going to go back, unless they're doing flashbacks? But then I'm like, well, why would you bring in a big name actor like Harry Lloyd, who's very well known, to play him if you're not going to use him in some respects? And I'm like, okay. So in the comics, you do have Age of Apocalypse that starts because of Legion killing his father early on. And yeah, so wow. Yeah. And not only that, Jeff Loeb has reared his ugly head once again. And talking about, you know, Marvel Studios still being around, you know, somewhat, and they can still do TV shows on FX, Marvel TV shows on FX, because FX is now owned by Disney. There you go. Marvel Studios could still do their own Marvel shows. So, I think Fargo season 4 is next year, if I'm not mistaken, because I know that season 3 of Legion is supposed to come out this year, and they keep saying it's either summer or fall. I think it's fall for season 3, and then he's going to work right into season 4 of Fargo. And don't be surprised if season 4 of Fargo is its last year as well, because he's moving on to other things. I mean, Noah Hawley is just, you know, out there. The man can switch gears and not lose a fucking beat. That's all I can say. Yeah. If we're casting Harry Lloyd in the father role, I could see him in a live action Venture Brothers as Dr. Venture. Interesting. You know, Pen Farm Girl, tell you the truth, I would like to see James Urbanic, who does the voice for Dr. Venture, play Dr. Venture, because he looks like him. He's skinny, and all you have to do is shave his head. And then you'd have the voice, because there's nobody else that can just do that voice quite honestly. And James Urbanic has done. He does do a lot of acting roles where he's been on TV. He's been in Agents of Shield a couple of times. Um, he's been in movies. But yeah, I would love to see James Urbanic actually do the role in a live. And I know that Doc Hammer and Jackson Public have been talking about they want to do a live action Venture Brothers movie, and I would think that would be sweet if they could actually do a live. I mean, come on! If any time is the right time, now is the time to do it. That's when they really should just do it. Just strike while the iron's hot. Ah, yeah. I'm okay with Venture Brothers staying animated, but I would love to see who would I cast as Brock Sampson? Patrick Warburton. He's supposed to be an aging, secret agent anyway. Yeah. No, don't make it politically correct at all. Do not change a thing about the Venture Brothers. And just make it from a different era, if you will. Yeah. I mean, Patrick Warburton is still acting out there. He's not, I mean, he's on that piece of shit. What is it? Star Trek Next Generation with a laugh track. Oh, the Orville. That's what it's called. Yeah. But he's covered under makeup right now. He's the dude who has the nose going to his stomach, who's always eating on the bridge. Yeah. Slurmy, they do have some brilliant ideas. There's a little book over here. If you haven't gotten that book, by the way, Dark Horse Comics, go on Amazon and you should be able to find it. It is the Go Team Venture. It's the Art of the Venture Brothers, and it's pretty much everything that they found, all their notes and stuff like that. They put it all together in one book. It's an awesome book. Yeah. Yeah, Stanley, if they announced the live action Venture Brothers, I would be camped out in line in the movie theater right after they mentioned that, quite honestly. Yeah, well, they keep bringing him back, Viking bitch. They keep bringing back Patrick and just wasting the shit out of him on that show. And I get he's probably a busy person, and so they can only use him for a small amount of time. But yeah, camped out or passed out in line. What's the difference? As long as I'm in line, I'm camped out, right? Doesn't mean I need to be conscious. Semantics there, Slurmy. Come on. Excuse me. So, did everyone watch that big game that happened? Did anyone take a nap during that big thing that happened last Sunday called the Super Bowl? Yeah. And I don't know. I didn't watch it either. So, there were a lot of ads, of course, that happened. Didn't watch any of those either because they all come out ahead of time. And he just got blocked. I don't know why. If Pen Farm Girl, if you're trying to type out a whole bunch of stuff real quick, it happens. It'll stop you from sending out messages. That's one of the bad things about chat. But excuse me. It's mainly there to keep people like Movie Fanobi from posting too many things and taking over the chat. So anyway, we had Captain Marvel. The teaser dropped last week, and I'm calling her Captain Mehvel because, quite honestly, I keep seeing the same stuff over and over and over again, and it's less than a month away. This movie comes out on March 8th, and actually, it's a month away from today. And I'm going, is there any kind of buzz? Yeah, and I'm looking online. I'm looking to see if anyone's interested in this movie at all. And no one's interested in this at all. It's a Marvel movie. It's a main Marvel movie. And no one's excited about it at all. It's one of those things that, yeah, I'm going to go see it in the theater because I like Marvel movies, right? I'm going to go and see it. It's not giving me any warm and fuzzies. I'm not seeing anything different in the trailer. Usually at this point, they've given a couple of different, you know, versions of the trailer. And I'll have to say this much: the movie website, if you go and see the movie website, it made me laugh. They set it up like an old '90s website, like a Geosites. For those of you who are, don't know this, Geosites had some really basic ass websites, and that's what this is. It's a basic '90s website that you keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling instead of having page links to bring you different places. And it's kind of funny. They have this old woman who keeps popping up every now and then in the corner or the side of the screen. And if you click on her, Captain Marvel punches her in the face. But other than that, I don't know. Is anyone else excited about this at all, or no? Bras optional? Yeah, my bra's in the wash right now. Pen Farm Girl. So here, you want to see? Kidding. I'm not going to flash anybody with that. No one wants to see that kind of stuff. Yeah, the Super Bowl was pretty damn boring, quite honestly. The other thing I was disappointed about was the Big Lebowski tease that we had from Jeff Bridges. Turned out to be an ad for Stella Artois, the beer, and that's all it was. It was just him coming back for an ad, and fairly disappointed by that one. I really was. They have one funny scene punching an old lady. Oh yeah, that's the punching an old lady on the subway, right? Yeah, that's right. Okay, she's the one that's set up like she's a scroll on the subway. Oh no, spoilers! I forgot about that. That's how forgettable it was. Yeah, that's why I'm calling her Captain Mehvel. Let's milk it to death. Exactly. Yeah, Lebowski and Sex. And what the hell was that with Carrie? Whatever her face was from Sex and the City. It just didn't make any sense at all. And that Hobbs and Shaw one just looks like weirdness. I mean, what is it? Idris Elba is in there as a freaking supervillain now at this point. He's got weaving underneath his skin to make him bulletproof, and he's super strong. And I don't know where they're going with this whole Fast and the Furious series. I mean, they need to do it out in space, have some Mustangs and whatnot, making drifting out in space. Get it, drifting out. Right. I'll be here all week. So no works. I'm not setting them free because I know they'll end up all over the internet then at that point. And it'll be your fault. I know that. Illusionary says, I'm looking forward to seeing Nick Fury, the cat, how the connection is, etc. Jude Law, Annette Bening, by the character, not as much. But the character, not as much. Okay, got it. Yeah, making her she's gonna be the strongest character in the MCU. And I'm like, okay, well, if she was the strongest character in the MCU and we knew about her before the Avengers ever showed up, why didn't Nick Fury call her when all the shit was going down in New York with the Chitauri? Huh? That didn't, yeah, you can't explain that one away. I'm sorry, you really can't explain that one away. It's not weird, it's a weird thing. Movie says the Dos Equis guy, the most interesting man was at the bar. Also, the commercial was a dud. What the huh? Oh, was he okay? It's kind of funny movie for nobody. The old Dos Equis guy, remember the old guy that had the beard and all that stuff? Somehow or another, a few years back, I ended up on a email list, I should say. I got invited to this secret event that was a Dos Equis event. It was free, all the Dos Equis I could drink and all that kind of stuff. And he was there. So they were doing some kind of weird advertisement. And I think it was a new Dos Equis line that they were bringing out or something like that. But it was a weird freaking event, man. Uh, it was held at an old bank. So they had like a bank vault. They do parties there now and all that stuff in San Diego now. They had stilt walkers, like acrobats and all that kind of stuff inside. And yeah, well, the secret event had like about 3,000 people there too. So they invited quite a few people. But you had to print out something in order to get in and all that stuff. And they give you a wristband and yeah, all that secret stuff. But yeah, we were waiting in line to go and meet him. And we were right at the head of the line. And they're like, nope, sorry, he's gone. He has to go do an event up on the main stage. And so yeah, we were actually just about to meet the guy with the old guy with the beard and have a picture taken with him and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I was kind of disappointed by that. We were right next in line. I know. It was just kind of one of those weird things. I used to have weird shit happen to me all the time, like that, where I'd get random invites to things. And this is back during my old bartending days, and yeah, so not as much anymore. I used to call it the Oscar Mayer Wiener effect, the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile effect. Excuse me. And so the story behind this is back about a couple decades ago when I lived in Northern California. Uh, every now and then I would see the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile go by, and it would be like at random times, 3 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. It'd always be like at times where no one else was around. And whenever I saw that go by, weird shit would happen that day, like really off the wall stuff. And I'm not kidding you. I saw that thing about like 6 times within a few months. And I don't know if it was the Matrix trying to tell me something or what, but yeah, it was a weird thing. So yeah, I used to call it the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile effect. Yeah, there's one time I saw him like, fuck it, I'm going back home. I'm just going back to bed. I don't want anything to do with this day. Demolition Man. Crosswalks happen. Excuse me. So also with this Captain Marvel movie, it's going to be the first movie to be held back from Netflix when it comes out on DVD, which will be, it comes out in March, so it should be April. And April 11th, funny enough, the Disney Plus app is going to be demoed, which I thought was kind of a weird, weird announcement for when they're actually going to be demoing that D Plus app. And thanks, Movie for Novi, for the wiener. And I don't know, man. It's so they're going to demo the app on April 11th. This movie is going to be the first one that's not going to be out on Netflix. It's going to be on D Plus. Yeah. So it'll be on D Plus is just equivalent. Hey, Osaro. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's going to be a weird one. What is it? They said they're going to save $150 million is what Disney's going to save by not doing the licensing over on Netflix and having their own. I'm going to go on a limb here and say they're actually going to lose money on the D Plus side of things. Yes, they're going to have a huge backlog of material from Fox because that's why they bought Fox pretty much, so they can shore up Disney, their D Plus app. But I don't think the original content is going to hold up, to tell you the truth. Netflix right now is a juggernaut. It's huge. Amazon, juggernaut. Well, right now it's Netflix, then Amazon, and then you have Hulu. And then after that, what else do you have? I mean, DC Universe isn't catching on really all that well. People are going in and out of that. Yeah, I do have a lot of lurkers. They're just here because they want to see me flash, and I'm not going to flash. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but I'm not releasing the twins. translator microbes. Okay, I don't know where you went with that, Viking bitch, but all right. Oh man. So yeah, it's I'm it's probably gonna last more. Disney will throw money at it. Disney will throw money at it. But I don't think it's gonna last it's gonna last a while because they're throwing money at it, but it's not gonna be profitable for them. They're gonna operate that thing at a loss. No, Hulu is not close to Amazon, but since they have partnerships with all the networks and stuff like that, and they're rerunning movies and things like that, they are still a better option than having like live TV. Especially Hulu has what is the TV thing as well, so you can do live TV. So it's not bad considering that Netflix doesn't have that and Amazon does not have that either. That's right. So it's YouTube that does. YouTube right now is struggling for their live market. They're doing very, very well with stuff like this, like what you're watching now. As someone posted, one of our friends posted yesterday, I believe on Facebook, they said they went on YouTube to go and find out, how to, I forget what it was, like something simple. And they said 5 hours later, they were watching a video on how to talk to giraffes. So, yeah. But there you go. What else do I have in here? Of course, everyone saw the Avengers Endgame Superbowl teaser, or as I like to call it, rehab. They were pretty much just sitting around in a circle talking to each other about I don't know. It looked like a rehab meeting is really what it looked like an AA meeting. I wasn't too thrilled by it. I'm waiting for the real trailer to drop out, but who knows? And that's coming out after. So is it March? We have Captain Mehvel, and then we have Avengers Endgame comes out in May. Is that right? May or June? I think something like that. Movie for Nobody says, I can't see brand dedicated streaming services surviving because the content isn't usually diverse or plentiful programming, but it depends on the economics. I think consumers will reach it. Yeah. If you're paying what you were paying for cable, then what's the use of it? What's the use of cord cutting at that point? And yeah, Pen Farm Girl, I don't think of YouTube for watching TV or movies either. I look at it for watching, how to jumpstart a car, or when I have a problem that I need to solve in the real world, like how do I do that? How do I fix that? Yeah, Stanley Tweedle. He says my limit would be 3 services at most. Right now, not including DirecTV now, I have Hulu, Netflix. Well, of course, I have Amazon Prime because of the, that stuff. And Stars. That's right. I have Stars for Counterpart. Once Counterpart's done, Stars is gone. So there you go. Stormy says, speaking of Jake Gyllenhaal, the Velvet Buzzsaw is interesting, but it could have been done as an episode of The Twilight Zone. Art plus horror. Yeah, I'm not really getting good vibes out of that movie. Speaking of which, though, Russian Doll. I cannot recommend that enough with Natasha Lyonne. She co-created that with Amy Poehler and another female director. I can't remember her name now, but it's really good. And it's on Netflix. The entire series is up. They're half-hour episodes, and there's only 8 episodes. So I burned through it, and of course I was sick, so I burned right through it. And it's very existential. Yeah, Stanley, it takes you a little while. It's by the 4th episode, I believe, is when things kick. It's about the midway point when it kicks in. Excuse me a moment. Oh. No, it's not retreading old ground. It's very it's metaphysical and it's physics. It's based in metaphysics and physics at the same time. That's all I can say about Russian Doll. It's very different, and I liked it. And there's some good writing in it too. It's actually got some really good writing. I liked her aunt is a therapist, and in the very first episode, she goes, "Let's sit crooked and talk straight," which I thought was really good. And also the whole what was the other one was nothing in life is easy except peeing in the shower. Yes. Hey, BD, how's it going? Sweet birthday, baby. You know who's the sweet birthday baby in here? Filthy. Filthy just turned 40. How was the Blade series on CWC, Dennis? You're talking about the old Blade series that was on God, what was it? That was 10 years ago. It was 20 years ago. No, 10 years ago. That was on originally. God, what was that on? Spike. It was on Spike TV. That's what that was. And it was all right. It was okay. Wasn't anything to write home about. I just found it funny that the rapper that was playing Blade, they left him. They kept leaving his glasses on because he's got a lazy eye, so it's always kind of droopy and looks kind of weird. So he doesn't look badass. So they leave his glasses on, the sunglasses on the entire time. Yeah. What was the other thing that someone asked me here? I was just looking at it. Oh, you're asking about physics. Stanley Twill says physics like a fall will break your neck. No, physics as in they start talking about dimensions, fourth dimensions, and other universes, shall we say. That's all I'm going to say. And that's the reason why it kind of spoke to me, because it talked about, other worlds, other parallel universes, as well as dealing with metaphysics. So she doesn't know what she's dealing with. And I thought it was actually pretty interesting. Oh, you're talking there's a 2019 series of Blade? I didn't know that. Spike TV right now, Penn Farm Girl is called the Paramount Network. That's what they morphed into. Yeah, that's what they call themselves now. And they're just as shitty as ever. So. The pointed circle. Actually, it is the pointed circle. No, not parallel dimensions like STD. Parallel dimension. Just watch it. That's all I can say. It's actually fairly good, and it's been renewed for 2 more seasons, which I was kind of surprised that Russian Dolls got renewed so quickly. I liked it. It's actually a lot of fun, and it was different. It was something different for a change. It wasn't Groundhog Day. It wasn't. I mean, it's a different show. Just when you think it's going to be this one thing, it changes. And it goes to something else. And just when you're like, oh, okay, it's going to be this. Nope, it changes. So it takes your perception of what you think it's going to be and it flips it a little bit. And at the end, I'm intrigued to see where the fuck they're going to take this, because there is room for it. I mean, there's definitely room to take it in different levels. But it's one of those things you're like, oh, wow, this is actually going to be difficult to do, one, but also a lot of fun if they do continue going down that. I'm trying to do that without, giving anything away. The Simpsons, you know what? Everyone gives the Simpsons a lot of shit, and they're like, what else can the Simpsons do? Have you watched the Simpsons lately? Granted, it's not as good as it used to be in the very beginning, but it is pretty damn funny. I mean, they still have some really good jokes in there, and the writers, a lot of the writers that are coming through there are up and coming writers. You got to remember on that. Conan O'Brien went through there. Brad Bird, I believe Mindy Kaling even went through that as well, because I know she was, there's quite a few writers that have gone through the Simpsons writers room. One of the best, if you can ever find it, interviews, or not interviews, but just roundtable discussions, is Conan O'Brien bringing back a whole bunch of the old Simpsons writers and talking about what it was like in the writers' room and how they wrote for the Simpsons. It is an amazing. I believe it's on YouTube someplace around here, and Conan O'Brien, yeah, he's awesome in it, and he's the one who wrote the monorail song too, by the way, or co-wrote it. He came up with one of the ideas for it, and that is one of my favorite episodes, because right now in San Diego, they are building out by La Jolla. They're building the trolley is going out to UC San Diego, and it's basically just this huge monolithic thing. It's right through the middle of town. Instead of going underground with some of it, they took everything above ground and they raised it up. So it's going to be this just gigantic shadow on everything that it touches throughout, La Jolla. And as you drive through, I was looking at it going, wow, this is going to be really dark. And I was like, monorail, 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 because it looks like the monorail. And that's exactly what it looks like. It reminds me of the monorail. Except they're not spending $3 million. They're spending quite a bit more. And it's going to be outdated by the time they open it up anyway. It's not going to be able to handle the amount of people that it needs to handle. Especially if you're going to UC. UC is going to have, what did they say? There was 113,000 applicants this year. 113,000 applicants. And that's for the freshman year alone. Yeah. And they were saying something like 8,000, 9,000 of them are coming in. So I know I'm going off into real world territory here, but yeah, it's there's no way you can have public transportation carry that many. And that's just freshman class, not your transfers, not the rest of your classes, not your faculty, not your staff. Yeah. So it's gonna be ridiculous. Excuse me. But are we sure it's the real world? I don't know. Could be the Matrix. Oh, so What We Do in the Shadows, the TV series that's going to be premiering on FX. It's based on the Kiwi movie that came out with Takiti. I always murder his name. The guy who directed Thor Ragnarok. So that actually got a premiere date. It's got March 27th on FX, and it got a longer trailer. And I actually am looking forward to this. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It takes, again, we're talking about vampires. Taka Waititi, yes. Thank you, Morks. I always murder his name. And that's why I don't attempt it. Penn Farm Girl, I tried getting through the movie, and I got about halfway through, but I was really tired when I tried watching it, and I never finished it. And I know it's also done by it's co-written or co-produced by the guy from the Flight of the Conchords, right? The guy who's on FX Legion right now. Yeah, if I remember correctly. So it looks interesting. It looks funny. Having a whole bunch of vampires living together, different generations of vampires living together in the same house, and then having a documentary film crew film them. That looks pretty damn funny. So if you're into that, there you go. Jermaine, God, I can't remember his name either. Thanks, Mark Maginot. Yeah, you can tell I really prepared for this one, huh? Oh my God. So, Episode 9, Star Wars Episode 9, has a title rumor. Supposedly they were supposed to release it this week, and they never did. They teased it, then they pulled back. I'm not going to go with that one. I was going to go somewhere with that, but I'm not going to. And the title supposedly already leaked. The rumored subtitle is supposed to be Balance of the Force. Yeah. Does anyone really care at this point? Jermaine Clement, thank you. Yes. Uh, and, you know, hopefully, yeah. I don't know if anyone really cares about episode 9 at this point. It's I really don't know where they're going with this whole thing. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. Am I gonna see it? Yeah, I'm gonna see it so that you guys don't have to. And JJ will bring balance to the force. No, he won't. Yeah, episode 8 was really just dumb. I mean, dumb, dumb, dumb. Hey, you know what? We're gonna pile everybody from the all the good movies. We're gonna put them in the one cockpit of one ship, and then we're gonna blow that up. Except for the one person who in real life is actually dead. We're not gonna kill her character off. We're gonna have her fly like the witch from The Wizard of Oz back into the cabin using the Force to save herself. But everyone else is dead except for Lando because we don't know where Lando is. I don't know if everyone caught that, by the way, in episode 8, is that Rianne piled all the generals from the first trilogy of movies into the control room of the main ship and blew it up so they can kill everybody off of there. Yeah. Because, everything needs to change. Kind of like that trilogy, that new trilogy that he's supposed to be working on. You ever hear about that one? You heard anything lately on that one? Yeah, no one? Yeah. You know the reason why? Because they burned it with fire. Yes, that's right. What about Solo? Solo was a pile of dog shit. God. God, that was bad. Wow. I am looking forward though to The Mandalorian. Although it is on D plus. So I don't know how I'm gonna be able to see it at that point. Curious about the Lord. Yeah, I would have been curious to see where Lord and Miller were going with Solo, to tell you the truth. It looked like they were kind of trying to do like a comedy version of it, which quite honestly I thought would be funny. You're gonna watch episode 9, Filthy? Yeah, I am too. I'm gonna take one for the team. I'll watch it. Excuse me. But yeah, I don't hold out hopes for it at all. Oh, you're gonna watch The Mandalorian, is what you said. Okay. Sorry, I thought you meant episode 9. Yeah, Spider-Verse was actually really good. So I wanted to kind of end on a happy note, at least. Deadwood, the movie, just is set for a spring 2019 premiere on HBO. What does that mean? It means that they're done filming and they're editing right now, and it should be out soon on HBO. And I know that Game of Thrones is supposed to be out. The last season of Game of Thrones is supposed to be out in April. Yes, Happy comes out next month. Is that right? But yeah, Deadwood is spring of 2019. I am back, Movie Fanobi. Not mostly dead. Actually, I'm mostly dead. I'm not all dead. Because you know what happens when you're all dead? You just got to go through the pockets and look for loose change. Yes, it actually does take place 10 years after the Deadwood series. Because it's only been 10 years, Stanley. So they actually go in real time. Yes, I'm looking forward to Happy as well. Penn Farm Girl. Penn Farm. Yeah, that trailer for Happy, it just interesting. Very, very interesting. What's in the cup? Well, I've got a little bit of tea left in here. Hang on. There you go. It's all done. BD, yeah, you missed what I talked about. I talked about Umbrella Academy at the very beginning. I'm damn looking forward to it. I mean, come on, man. Let's see if I can get this out from underneath all the shit that's in front of me. See, that's how excited I am about that, because I got the damn thing right in front of me here. If you haven't read Umbrella Academy, this is the first volume, which is actually what the first season is based on. Yes, awesome. What's on my shirt? Filthy is what you're asking. Clothing. Oh no. Sorry. Okay, here you go. Ant-Man. Actual size. Yeah. Do I think it's gonna be good? Yeah, I do think it's gonna be good, Stanley. It's I actually I'm a really big fan of the Umbrella Academy comic. The first volume, the second volume, it's a little bit weird, but yeah, the first one was a really good story. Have a nice afternoon and weekend, everyone. Dennis, if you change your mind on one of the videos you streams, we will be there. Thanks, Move for Nova. Yeah, like I said, I'm probably just going to record some small things. That way I can drain my nose and all that kind of crap. So, yes, and Counterpart is coming tomorrow. Episode 9 is going to be tomorrow. So, excuse me. For those of you who are on the fence, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button if you like to. Hit the like or the dislike button, either way, down below here. If you want to be notified about when my next video is coming up, maybe. Hit the little bell down below here as well. Otherwise, you can take a look. There's going to be some videos that pop up here that are tailored to your taste out of my video library. If you're still on the fence about whether or not to join, you can also take a look. There's a little subscribe button that's going to be up here as well. You can hit that. Other than that, my schedule is up on my website, suspendedfanimation.com. I'm also up on Facebook. That's also where my schedule is up there as well. I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram as well. So, Mork says I'm making a brand of tea. It will be called TT, a full range of products: green, black, Earl Grey, chamomile. TT's for everybody. Fonobi is my business partner. Wow. Okay. Viro Magisha. Hey, how's it going? Yes, I'm barely back from the dead, Viro Magisha. Good to see you as well. I am gonna do a Punisher. It's gonna be a small one. I I wasn't too happy with what they did to the Punisher. That's all I'm gonna say. So, with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go. Hit the subscribe button over here. Take a look at the videos over here. Other than that, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may find yourself being absorbed by Disney and being put on the D+ channel against your will. Good night, everybody, or good morning.